Hey guys, my name is Caleb, and in this video, holy Ethereum is busting out to all-time highs, looking like a busted can of biscuits out here. 2636. That's kind of where its previous all-time high was, but now we're kind of steadily staying there. And in my opinion, this is because a lot of new investors came into Bitcoin hearing about these insane 2x gains, 3x gains, and it hasn't really performed over the last 3 months. Kind of stayed around 50,000, and Bitcoin's kind of like the gateway drug, right? It brings everybody in. It's very attractive. There's so many Bitcoin maximalists out there that just hammer home about it, right? It's all in the news, and then after they kind of linger around for a while, they start to dip their way down into some other ones. And that's really good for Ethereum because Ethereum has some great fundamentals behind it. There's a reason why it's number 2. But 2634 looks very high to some of us, some of the OGs on this channel that have been buying it since we've been talking about it since it was below $300. But if you're new and maybe you invested a couple weeks ago, 2634 is not crazy. So I think there's a lot of life left in this bull run, but I wanted to go over my cash out plan, or I should say my Hail Mary cash out plan, and I'll kind of explain why I say Hail Mary in just a second. So as we know, Ethereum has gone kind of crazy over the last couple months. As we predicted, every bull run summer, altcoins take over, and that's what's happening right now. And if we look at let's look at the last 3 months. Just against Bitcoin, we were all the way up to 0.43, right? Pulled down as Bitcoin went off, and now since Bitcoin has settled down, Ethereum has really gone off and shined. And I think we're gonna do a lot better. And there's a lot of talks of even a flippening going on pretty soon, which I don't count that out. I think that could definitely be a thing. Ethereum definitely has way more capabilities fundamentally than Bitcoin, way more use cases, but that's not what we're going to talk about in this video. We're going to talk about specifically is my cash out Hail Mary plan. And if you don't know anything about market cycles, that's what we're in. We're currently in what is going to quickly become a Bitcoin or crypto bubble. Now that does not mean that cryptocurrencies aren't worth the hype that it's getting right now. There's a lot of crazy technology that is going out and people are, FOMOing into for a really good reason. But there's definitely going to be some bubble area, just like we see every single 4 years. This cycle happens. We have, this was back whenever we were seeing a $4,000 or $5,000 Bitcoin, and now we're somewhere. I'm gonna say somewhere in the belief to thrill range, and we're gonna reach a euphoria that may take us over 100,000 for a Bitcoin and possibly up to 10,000 Ethereum, somewhere in that range. But I say Hail Mary because timing the top isn't always as easy as it is just looking at this chart. In hindsight, we can see that Bitcoin right here, if you look at this, I'm going to highlight this here. If you look at this, it looks very similar to the chart I just showed you, the psychology of a market cycle. We always go through the same euphoria. This is all new people getting into it, buying in, thinking they're going to just 10x their money. They think they're early adopters, but really it's, they found out about it at the same time as everybody else. And then we have a pullback. Now, it did this, right? As we talk about a lot, it had this crazy bull run and pull back. Now, even if you bought at the peak at 18,000, how many people watching this video today wish that they bought Bitcoin at 18,000? Okay, especially, let's go back to all. Even though I said just earlier Bitcoin's calming down at 50,000, man, if you bought that even at the peak of the last bull run, you would have still been skipping. So that's why I say that no matter what, if we zoom out and look at the grand scheme of things, I'm a long-term investor. I'm a 10-year guy. I want to retire. Okay, I don't want to constantly be worrying about, day trading or any of that, taking tax hits. I want to invest just like I invest in property, real estate, and have 30-year, 40-year investments that I can stay safe with, take loans out against, and minimize my, efforts into all of it, right? Retire. So if we zoom out Ethereum, as we talk about, I'm not going to go into the fundamentals again because I talk about it a lot. If you want to watch some more Ethereum fundamental videos, check out some of my other videos. But fundamentally, I do believe Ethereum is going to be somewhere over 20, 30, 40,000 over the next 20 years or so. Okay. Now, having said that, or I'll say even 10 years. Okay. 10 years, somewhere above 20,000. Now, that's saying it's going to 10x over the next 10 years. That is insane to say, or even to speculate that I'm going to gamble the chances of selling my Ethereum and risk not being able to buy it in for what I'm in now. Okay, that's kind of taking a Hail Mary and gamble, hoping that the world doesn't fully understand what I know, because I know what Ethereum is. It's a worldwide computer, right, that is going to change the world in a way that we've never seen before. You know, blockchain, digital transfers, and the global decentralized computer of Ethereum is hands down the best invention of our time, in my opinion. Now, none of this is financial advice, by the way. Always do your own research. This is my speculation, in my opinion. That's what I think. My conviction is we're going to go over 20,000 easily over the next 10 years as this develops. Now, the rest of the world doesn't know what I know yet about the possibilities and what Ethereum's going to do and how it's going to change the world. Now, I'm gambling and betting if I do sell, okay, on this bubble theory, okay, that we're going to have a ton of people fly in, and a lot of people are going to get scared and they're going to panic, right? It's betting on the psychology, or you could say kind of stupidity of investors, okay, or new investors. Now, that's very wholeheartedly what I think is going to happen. Now, long term, it would be very easy to say, especially in hindsight, as we look back at Bitcoin. You could have bought anywhere back in this time. Yeah, it would have been great to buy back at $4,000. But in hindsight, you know, if you were the guy that was back here at the 1,200 or 1,300, and you just went from $100 Bitcoin to 12 or 2,700, and you sold there thinking it was a top, that would have been a detrimental risk to you, because you, like I said, you knew what it was going to do long term, but you thought that was the market cycle top, and you sold. That would have been very, very depressing for me, I'll say, for sure. But that's the Hail Mary gamble you take, is that you got to think of two things. It's a twofold risk, okay? Number one, you're taking a gamble if you sell, right? I'm not talking about selling right now, by the way, guys. I'll tell you my strategy here in a second. But just talking about the fundamentals of that Hail Mary. If you sell, number one, you got to hope that you're going to buy back in at a better price, obviously. And you're going to watch this whole thing play out, and you're going to try to time the psychology of everybody else. And when everyone else is depressed or angry, that's when you'll obviously buy back in. When everyone's completely forgot about Bitcoin and Ethereum all entirely, that's when you make your move. But the other thing you have to think about during that time is the tax hit that you're going to take. Now, a lot of us invested and held for a long period of time, and we're hoping that we're going to, be able to borrow against our cryptocurrency, especially with DeFi and all the other things that happen, and possibly hold for capital gains, so we don't have to take that as a personal tax liability or tax bracket. So that's something else you got to plan and think about too. Now, even if you sold, let's say you sold Bitcoin back when it was $11,000, okay, or $10,000. You sold there. Not only do you got to buy back lower than that, but if your tax bracket is 40 or 45%, you're gonna sell at 10,000. Have to, what's 40% of 10,000? 4,000. Okay, you're gonna have to pay 4,000 in taxes. You're gonna be left with 6,000, and then to buy back in with that 6,000. Even at the bottom is still, you're not gonna net the same amount of Bitcoin you would have had if you just held and not even worried about it and just kept it in like a BlockFi or something where you're just collecting interest. That's the twofold risk and Hail Mary that we talk about here. Okay, you got to be able to really time the top to be able to confidently sell if you subscribe to the long-term theory that I have for Ethereum, that is over 20,000. Okay. Now that's the Hail Mary. Now, am I going to try and take that Hail Mary? I'm going to wait and see. Now, if I start to see us approach a 10,000 or 12,000 or even 15,000 Ethereum this market cycle, you better believe that Hail Mary is going to get very, very tempting for me to take advantage of, because one thing's for certain, we are going to see this. None of us know what the price is going to be or any of that, obviously, but we are going to see a 60 to 70% drop at some point. Now, whether we go up to 10K and drop or 8K and drop or 20K and drop for Ethereum, that's the kind of Hail Mary risk we're going to have to take. And I don't know, for right now, plan A is don't sell, right? Plan A is long-term, 20 years. I hold. I'm fine. If you hold right now and you buy Ethereum, in my opinion, you're gonna do fine. You're gonna be able to retire and you meet all your goals you want to do anyway. But to throw that Hail Mary and just say, hey, I want to cash out, there's definitely nothing wrong with that. But if you're a long-term guy anyway, it is a risk to take the tax hit and then potentially still not be able to recover and have as much, of the asset as you wanted anyway. So anyway, let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. What's your cash out strategy for this bull run cycle? What do you think Ethereum is going to top out during this cycle? And yeah, let me know what you guys think. Where are we at on this fear and greed index? For what kind of psychology do we see right now in the markets? Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. We'll see you.